Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and we're going to do some mixed media play that is going to take some old book pages and turn them into, I'm going to give you a sneak peek, Frankenpages. So I've been doing for a long time a collage where I took scraps of paper and glued it down. I have a video and I'll have the link there back when I did it back in 2010. So this is just another version of that using the scraps of paper. In this case, I am purposely making pieces to make this. So to begin with, I have some book pages out of a cheap book from the Dollar Tree, and it was just a paperback book. It was pretty thick. I like the size of the pages. Someone asked me the other day, how do I determine if I'm going to buy a book or not? A lot of times what I look at is the size of the book and the font and then the paper. So depending on what I'm looking for, if it's a new book, has a good size, I kind of like the font, looks kind of neat, I'll buy it, especially if it's like $1 or something. If it's old, vintage, and has, you know, discolored pages and a pretty font, I might pick it up too if it's the right price. So it just kind of depends upon my mood, where I'm at, and what I'm seeing, and also what my intentions are with that. This one I thought would be kind of cool because the paper is nice. It's not going to tear very easily for what we're doing today. What I've got here is a stencil that I made. I have these for sale in my shop. The link's in the description box. It's a circle stencil. It's made out of transparency film and it's coated right now in all kinds of acrylic paint. I don't wash my stencils. I might every once in a while rinse them off because they may have Tattered Angel's Glimmer Mist, but I'm okay with the over spill or bleed of different colors. And I thought what I would do is just kind of show you what I'm going to do here is I've got a little tray. I've got some acrylic paint, just cheap craft acrylic paint, and I'm going to put some in this palette, and I've got an old credit card or key card, a gift card, and I'm just going to pick up some of this paint. So you in this, let me move this down so you can see both my little palette. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of this paint with my card. It may be runny, and I'm just going to rub it over my page. And it's just going to put paint all the way over. It's going to be messy. It's not perfect, but I like the way it looks. Okay, so then quickly, while that's still wet, I'm going to grab another piece of paper and lay it on top, and then I'm going to rub in these circles, and we're going to get some neat texture on this page. And then peel this back, and it's a thin layer, so it's going to dry really fast. So it picked up some of the teal that was on there, and I'm okay with that. I like the way the circles look, so I'm just going to set this aside to dry. And then when I peel up this stencil, here is what it looked like underneath. Isn't that cool? I'm going to set this aside to dry. All right, let's use this stencil again, but this time I'm going to add some colors. I've got some pink, metallic, and then I've got some really old paint here that I need to use up, so that's why I'm going to use it, because it's probably not that pretty. Yeah, it's kind of icky. But I'm going to mix some of this white paint with it, and let's see how this looks. So that gives it a whole different look with the pink on there. Look at that with the pink and the white. Isn't that cool? Alright, I've got another stencil that I made, and I'm going to lay this over a new book page. I'm going to try to use up some of this paint. So I'm just going to go over this really quick and light. So it has a different look to it. It's a little messy. So let's try mixing a little bit of blue and pink together, and we'll try a different stencil and see how this looks. It's another stencil I made. I'm still working out the kinks of it, but I like the beginnings of what I started. And actually, I'm not going to use it on this one. I think I want a different stencil. For my mat, I'm using a Ken Oliver mixed media or watercolor mat. I find that it's just easy to clean up with. I've also used the Ranger craft mat in the past, so it just kind of depends on what you have the availability to. I have links in my description box to my blog that shows the products I use today, so you can choose if you want to order through my Amazon affiliate links if you like. We are going to be doing a swap in the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group, so that's why I'm making this video, so everybody can kind of see what you can do, don't have to, can do for your Frankenpages. You can use scraps of paper that you already have that have designs on them, but I wanted to see what I could do with all these book pages that we tear out of old books. So there's the blue and pink together. Coolio! Okay, so I'm going to set this aside to dry, and I think I want to go back to this one. And I'm going to add some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. So I have this color Curious. So make sure when you use a Tattered Angels, if it's got the glimmer in it, you're going to want to shake it until that glimmer powder is no longer on the bottom, that mica. So that's kind of cool with the different layer on there of the blue. Ooh, look how that one turned out. Isn't that cool? Ah, it's really neat. Alright, so I'm going to clean up and dry some of these pages, and I'll be back and I'll show you how we're going to use these to make some Frankenpages. What you're seeing here is a bunch of these mixed media pages that I have made using a page out of a book, acrylic paint, Tattered Angels, and stencils. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've just got a plain sheet of copy paper, and I have this little weird thing that I've put together because I saw something that somebody else did a year ago and I thought of it today. So I've got a little plastic container here that has some Aleene's tacky glue in it and some water, and it may need more water, I think. I've just been adding a little at a time. I'm supposed to have, I think, made this and let it set overnight, and I'm too impatient. I wanted it now. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because I'm going to tear the pages and then adhere them down. So I'm going to use this glue to get everything put in place. And I'm playing with it now. Okay, so I've got, here's a page that I made, and so I'm just going to kind of help get a somewhat straight line by folding it with my fingers and then tearing. So I've got a piece there, and let's just go ahead and adhere this down. The little board that you're seeing here is a piece of wax paper wrapped around a piece of cardboard. I kept finding that I was running out of space to have a flat surface to add things to glue, and having that little piece of cardboard helped that problem, so I could move it out of the way, glue my item down, and bring it back for the next piece that I want to use. So I'm just grabbing another piece and I'm going to tear it. May not tear straight, that's okay. I think I want to put it, I want to change my mind. I think I want, here we go. I've got a piece that was already torn. If I do like that, that's kind of cool. All right, so I'm going to put down this green first. I'm using the straight edge of the paper to help get some of my pieces straight. Only because I want them straight, but they don't have to be straight. The reason why I'm putting glue all the way over on this page is if I decide to cut this page up, I want all the pieces to be adhered down. And I'm leaving the back white because I like the way it looks whenever I sew on top of the pages. I think it needs something darker. Alright, so there is my page that I have glued together. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down just a little bit, because for the swap we're going to do is 8 by 10.5. So I'm just going to trim this down, and then I'm going to change the camera view so you can see my sewing machine. I'll be right back. We're at my little sewing machine. It's just a simple simplicity machine, but it has stitch options. So I've chosen one of the stitches that I like, and I'm going to alternate between it and a zigzag stitch. So I've chosen a stitch as I showed you, and it's kind of a swirly thing. It takes a little bit longer for it to sew, but it's really quite cute. So what I'm doing is I'm centering where the pages meet together in my presser foot, kind of down in the center, and then I'm just going to start sewing. Because it's paper and it's not holding two pieces together, I don't need to do a back stitch. But if you are attaching pieces, you may want to do a back stitch or apply some glue. Then when I get to a intersection, I will rotate, and I'm going to change the stitch because I want something different here, and I'll just stitch the other direction. One thing I like about my machine is it has an automatic cutter. And you can't see me hitting the button, but I have a little button and I can tell it to cut the thread, and it's ready to go. All right, well, I'm going to sew some more on here. I think I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to go back to that stitch that I was using. Sometimes when I'm stitching, I may go beyond where the intersection is. Since this is a really long rectangle piece here, I'm going to go ahead and come to this intersection up here. So I think I've gone all around my intersections. Now I want to go around the outside of the page, and I will alternate between the two stitches just so I have, consistency throughout. All right, the page is done. Let me show you what we're going to do here. Here is the page that I made today, and I'll show you the other pages that I made prior to this video. I did a Facebook Live in the Friendly Junk Journal people, and I made a couple of pages while they watched. So here's another page. Here's another page. Here's another page. Here's another page, and I love the bird stencil, how it turned out. There's another page. And then let me show you what the back side looks like. I love the way the back looks. I can leave this white, or I could put a stencil over it and spray it with some Tattered Angels. I could do some more mixed media, but I think I'm going to leave these white. And I love having the black thread everywhere. I put black thread in my top thread and my bobbin, and so depending on which side you look at, it should be the same because it's both black thread. But isn't that cool? Now, I will say, for those of you that don't sew but want to hand sew, this is a device called Sew Easy, and what it is it's a little tool that has a sharp little wheel on it that when you roll it across paper, it pokes holes. And then you can take fancy threads. They have little fancy floss, embroidery floss, crochet thread, whatever, and you could sew by hand on here. So you could do some holes down here and then do a stitch across that. So I wanted to share that with you. The other thing you could do if you don't want to have the sew, but you want the sew look, is use a marker of some kind. Like here is a Faber-Castell. I know I have a Sharpie in here. Oh, here's my Sharpie as well. And basically you're just going to go onto your paper and you can make little stitch marks. You could make little X's if you want. So there's, I think my pins are running dry. I think I need some new pens, because they're not seeming to mark today. Here, let's use a great big pen. So here's a big Sharpie that you can, just doodle on the edge if you want. So there's you some ideas. I hope you like that. And what we're doing in the group is we're going to have a swap, so make sure you check that out. I'm going to give away one of these, and I may end up making a little journal out of it. Alright, if you like this video, you liked what I did today, my version of a Frankenpage, if you will, I would love to hear your comments of what style would you use for your Frankenpages. Are you a bright colors like this? Are you more the vintage look? And comment below, and if you haven't already joined that group, join the group so you can check out the swap that we're going to have probably June, July-ish. I'm not positive. And let's see, check out the description box for links to the things that I shared today. And let's see, I think that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Please share my videos. Others may find this really interesting. I may get a hater, I don't know. But if you liked it, you enjoyed it, please share it. All right, have a fabulous day, everybody. I'm out. Bye.